Go.
Hey guys, I just want to show you a couple tricks how to prevent refrigeration leaks. Here we have an uncased coil, and some of the common leaks are going to be in these U-bends right here. Not much you can do about that. But when you check the unit before you install it, you want to remove these plugs, and we did this yesterday. You want to hear like a psst pressure release, because from the factory it comes with nitrogen in it, and if you don't hear that hissing sound, that means there's probably a leak. So yesterday we pressurized it, and there was, it was holding pressure, so it's fine. But then also what I want to show you, if you want to get closer here, we have the distributor tubes here from the TXV, and as you can see, they are touching in different places. And with refrigeration running, the blower fan on the furnace running, there's going to be a small amount of vibration through this at all times, and that vibration will rub and create a wear and tear point and create a leak. So if you want to get a bit closer on the side here, I already did this side a few minutes ago. As you can see, it's not touching the U-bends, and it's not touching each other, and all the way through here it's not touching at all, although they are very close. This side here, they are touching a little bit, so I'm going to create some space here by pushing them away from each other. You don't want to move them too much, just enough to create at least about 1/8 of an inch gap if you can. And same thing here, so they don't touch the U-bends. And now these things are not going to vibrate and touch things. And then another thing I'll show you, right here, we are just installing this TXV, but you have these white little grommets over here. They are Teflon, and you don't want to over tighten them. Usually the installation manual will tell you how tight to make it, and I can't remember how many pounds of torque, but just make sure you read the instruction page that comes with the TXV. And same thing, there's one here. And then if you wanted to know what a piston looks like, this is what it looks like. It's a piston, and if you do a job without a TXV, make sure that the piston matches the outdoor unit. The piston that's sent with the coil will not always be a match for the air conditioner that you work with, but it's always best to use a TXV. However, certain units can work with a piston. And then the other thing you want to be careful with is when you extend this tube right here. This was all coiled up in a little coil like this, so I just gently uncoiled it, and I want to make sure it doesn't touch here, and it doesn't touch here, and doesn't touch here. So I just want it to be as natural as possible. I happen to like straight lines, so it's nice to just kind of keep it as straight and 90-degree turns whenever possible. And this right here is the equalizer. I'm sorry, this is the equalizer. This is the sensing bulb, and the sensing bulb usually goes right on the suction line. And right here in the manual, it shows that on lines that are smaller than 7/8, you have to go at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, so directly across on the sides. And then on lines that are 7/8 and larger, you would go at the 4 and 8 o'clock. So 4 and 8 o'clock would be kind of like down here or back here, and then 3 and 9 o'clock would be here or back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it right, again, I don't want this to touch and rub too much either if possible. So after it's mounted, I'm going to play with this coil a little bit and make sure it's as perfect as I can make it. And so I'll put it on the back side here, because we're going to build a custom box for it, and I just want this front to be as clear as possible. So I'll put the sensing bulb back here, and we just use this fancy little copper band to connect it, which I happen to like to play with this quite a bit. I'm not sure why, it just seems like such a cool trick. So I just get it close, and then with a screwdriver I just tighten it all the way. So I won't bore you with that part, but I just wanted to show you how to prevent these things from rubbing. Also, if you're a service tech and you go on service calls and you're inspecting the coil to be clean, at the same time look around here and see if anything is touching, see if any of these have moved. Sometimes when the liquid line gets bumped, it affects how these things remain in relation to each other. So just keep an eye out for that. And the same is true for outdoor units. The compressor, the certain lines out there, the distributor on a heat pump, you'll have a TXV or something out there maybe, and you're gonna have a similar scenario on the condenser outside. So hopefully this was useful, and yeah, if you have any questions, just put a comment down below and let me know.